Alberto,
How are you, my good friend? Good
I'm
morning.
I'm good. We have beautiful weather here, which is really changing um, a lot. I just came from a bicycle ride with my daughter, and it's weird and empty. There are no cars, but and it gets more severe also in Germany now. I mean, we have really a very low death toll compared to other nations because we do all these tests. And how's it over there in LA?
Well, here it rained all night, which is something that we don't usually get. It reminds me of how I grew up in Colombia. In Bogota, it rained a lot through the night, and so I woke up really early with the sound of the rain. It rained hard, and it's still pouring. I'll give you a peek in a little bit so you see. I mean, it stopped, but it's still very gray and coldish.
It's unusual for LA, no? In this time of
It's
year.
it's very unusual. Yes, it had been very beautiful the last couple of days, and I think we're going to have rain for the whole week.
Is there a coalition? I mean, at the beginning here in Germany, everybody thought the coronavirus spread would go down by warmth once the weather breaks. But I think the recent studies show that this is not really the case, and this won't really give us much of a relief.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I'm not. I mean, if you go to Miami and you see what's happening in Miami, I mean, I actually want to acknowledge a lot of friends I have in Miami that are sick with the coronavirus and that I love very, very much. I want to acknowledge people in Peru, people in New York that are sick that I love very much, and
And you said you're
really
from
thinking
Bogota?
about all of them. What's that?
You said you're from Bogota?
I'm originally from Bogota. I was born and raised in Bogota. Yes, yes, yes.
How's the situation there?
Everything, Bogota took a very early, very strong stay-at-home effort, and I think that management has been really good. Mostly, my parents are there, whom I love very much. My brother and his family are there. A lot of cousins, a lot of people that I love. Bogota shut down. Colombia is absolutely and totally shut down. 100%. Everybody's home. Social distance. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it's a big deal.
this is what I really find so fascinating about this epidemic crisis, and even though it's terrible, it's so uniting. I mean, at the same time, Europe could position itself a bit better, but from India to all over the world, we share the same fear and the same. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, on all different levels of where we are, but I find that really a strange symbol of globalization. And I wanted to talk to you because you somehow had a sense for early discoveries. You were like very early in acquiring some heroes of today, like Keith Haring, for example. You were very early in acquiring Keith Haring. How, like, what is there something you look at now, like online, digital? Is there something you would point our attention to? What you maybe see coming, or what you're busy with looking at right now?
Well, Keith, I went to school in New York in the 80s. When I got to New York, Warhol was dying in 87, had died in 87. The year afterwards, Basquiat dies in 88. In 90, Keith Haring dies, and I remember going to the pop shop and being, Keith Haring broke all my barriers, everything, the rebellion, the political action, the visual, the aesthetics, everything. He was and still is one of my big heroes. So Haring started it, and the whole pop. I was 19 years old, so I've been buying art for 30 years and being interested since I can remember. 8 years ago, I found Instagram, and I've been in love with this feature ever since. I was looking before I wanted to talk to you. My second post was a George Condo.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been posting art since I started, and that is an influence I got from Louise Lawler, Gursky, Cindy Sherman. All these artists influenced me a lot at the beginning. How I see things. I mean, the whole Leipzig school, Gursky, and all of them really influenced the way I photograph and the way I put things on the gram. And Louise Lawler is a champion of how I, for me, photographing a work of art inside of a space is something that I love very, very much. So Instagram opened a lot of doors and broke a lot of barriers so I could start seeing artists on Instagram and friending them and having conversations and meeting people with my same interests. And, I don't have a system.
But this means you really discover things on Instagram, yeah?
I discovered, at the beginning it was the fairs and the museums and going to the auction houses in New York, because I'm also very interested in the business part of collecting. But at the beginning it was that, and even before then, my parents decorating houses in Colombia and being into aesthetics and buying the local scene in Colombia. So it's always been a curiosity, and there isn't a system. I can like Cause and I like Helmut Newton. I don't have a system. I'm impulsive, and I buy what I like.
And do you immediately share? Like let's say you find something new you want to follow, like a new artist you want to follow, you share that immediately, or you first build up inventory, or not inventory, but like items?
I always share really, really quickly. And if you go back to my Instagram, you'll see how quickly I share. Have I changed that a bit? Yes. And I hope that the pause in this actually changes the game a bit. But now I find myself not being able to share so much, because once you share, then you have 12 or 15 people immediately or more wanting to buy.
Exactly. That's why I'm asking, because that happened to me. I was buying a young painter here in Berlin, and I was so excited about it, and I shared it, and then it had the negative consequence that I lost the possibility of the variational choice. I don't know, attracted too much competition, which I'm happy about because I like to support the artist, but it kind of drove up the prices a little bit quick, and also that's why I was asking to that.
Yes, I've been feeling it. I've been feeling it a lot lately, and I have changed the game. I'm buying 6 or 7 artists right now that I'm not actually telling everybody that I'm buying.
It's only you and me. It's only you and me here.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm losing you. There's connection.
It's better.
Oh no! Can you repeat? I had a glitch. I'm glad I had a glitch here for a second.
It's not that I don't want. It's not that I'm not sharing because I want to hoard. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do to be able to get the paintings and the pieces that I actually want. But I definitely will share, and it's part of my experience, and it's part of the joy of this. I do think that art is the great communicator, and I think it's very, very important to share and to discuss ideas.
Something I want to share here, actually, which I had a lot of joy while we were homeschooling our kids, is a download drawing book by Louise Lawler, which you can download on MoMA. It's these photographs Louise Lawler took of art in houses or in other museum places, but they're empty and you can fill them out. Maybe there's one actually here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, super nice. That's super
awesome.
Nice. No, I think they took it upstairs. And you mind showing us a little bit around your house?
Yes, of course. Let me see how I do this.
There should be like a flip, exactly.
So it's a 1949 Richard Neutra house that I was very lucky. I mean, this was a dream. This was a dream come true. See, it's raining.
Pretty foggy, also, yeah. Is this Hollywood Hills?
This is Los Feliz.
Los Feliz, okay.
Some beautiful ceramics, of course.
Beautiful.
If you live in California, you need to buy ceramics. It's the way it is, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
I don't hear you so well right now. I think your finger is on the microphone. Oh, hello.
There's Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn. How you doing?
Good, good. We're good here. Very grateful.
Robin.
Beautiful.
Francis William. I love her. I love her. Her technique is extraordinary.
Yeah.
I bought this from Various Small Fires, who is a gallery that I work very closely.
we're gonna. I think that this is an amazing gallery, and we all can learn a lot from. She has this like contactless possibility of visiting the gallery, and Esther will be here on the show as well. I think coming days.
Love Esther. Love Sarah. Love Esther.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Marcus Jamal.
Beautiful.
Farig is a guy that I love. I bought this from Matthew Brown, another gallerist that I love here.
It's also ceramic?
Yeah, ceramic.
Yeah.
He's really incredible. Incredible.
And are these all LA-based artists?
Yeah. Sharif, yes. Nick Waddell.
Mm-hmm. And you have often a relationship to them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With a lot of the artists I've friended and become really, really close. That's what changed in LA. It gave me the possibility. You know, before I was living in Miami before, and I was going to New York, and I was really seeing art in galleries and in museums. Coming to LA really opened the door to the studios and becoming friends with artists that I absolutely love. Henry Taylor.
Beautiful. Beautiful Henry Taylor.
Jonas Wood.
Yeah.
The Master, Grochan.
Absolutely stunning. Great face.
Celeste Dupuy Spencer. I bought this. Nino Meyer.
Yeah. Good old friend from Cologne.
Yes, doing extraordinary things here. Also, this was at the Whitney Biennial. I loved it for the Whitney.
How's the whole LA art scene right now? Everything's shut down as well, right?
Yes, everything is shut down. Everything is quiet. Everything is quiet. And I'm telling you, I personally like the pause.
Yeah.
I should have been in today in Bangkok. Yesterday I should have been in.
Who's this? 1 second. The house. Who's this?
Hillary Pekis.
I don't know her. Great painting.
She just did a show with Rachel Offner, and of course she didn't.
I know Rachel, of course. Yeah.
She didn't give me a painting, but I still love the artist.
So how difficult was it for you to keep the work? Like, I mean, when you bought, like, how difficult was it for you to hold on the paintings? Like when you bought early, or did you part from some of it?
No, listen. I of course I have parted with things. It's the only way for me to grow the collection.
Yeah.
But I own a very large collection, and I've been buying profusively for 30 years. The last 4 years, I've been buying very, very strongly. And yes, I sell.
Is this a brand new Chloe Wise?
This Chloe Wise I bought from Almin about a year and a half ago.
Really? I thought that she did these. I mean, that's amazing. This is like Chloe. No. You're looking into the future.
She's incredible. The whole social. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Chloe.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of her politics, of the way she sees life. Her technique is extraordinary. We've become good friends. I've been to her studio. We love her.
Yeah, Chloe is on our upcoming group show, which eventually will mainly take place digital now. It's called The Artist is Online. The title is The Artist is Online. This is beautiful again. Can we see the ceramics? But that's very interesting because I thought the sanitizer is something she reacted to now. The whole sanitizer thing she did way in advance, and all these. I mean, her whole critique is so on point. Yeah, so on point. Yeah. We're gonna show these benches which provide Kleenex, where you can pull out.
Oh yes. Yes.
And paintings.
Yes. Matthew Wong.
Beautiful.
You know, I met him through Instagram, and I bought this from him through Instagram, and we had a very curious and beautiful relationship through email. We never physically met, and a lot of my friendships in the art world are with people that I've never met. I've met incredible people in Asia, in Thailand, in Korea that I've never met, and we all care for each other very, very much.
But isn't it interesting that we meet through this now, like in real life, although very unlikely? I mean, I saw Matthew's painting in this hotel fair, Felix. They had a beautiful painting there.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct,
yeah.
correct.
And this was a very nice Nicholas party just now, right?
Yeah, little pre-pop from Warhol. Notice the 6 fingers there.
Yeah, yeah. Did you make it to see all these shows in LA before? Oh, beautiful! Another one.
Yeah, 2004, the year he died. One of his last sunset little studies. A bronze Eddie Martinez.
Great. And did you see all the shows before they went down, before they closed, like the party show and?
Yeah, the party show. Yes, I was able to see it. I'm a very big fan of Nicholas.
Very nice one here.
Very big fan of Nicholas, and you know, was lucky enough to buy it early, and
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I don't pay the prices. I don't.
This Jonas Wood, right?
Yeah, this Jonas Wood I bought many years ago in Chicago.
Uh-huh. So Nicholas Party kind of, I mean, from the color palette, it makes sense, but he's kind of, because very much is local, is related to LA artists. So how did you come across Nicholas' works?
You know, talking to collectors and
Yeah.
talking to people, looking at Instagram. You know, for me, as soon as I saw Nicholas, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it was love at first sight, as it was with Josh Smith. You know, I was walking at a fair, I saw a palm tree, and I knew I had to buy it. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to live with them, and for me, the Reapers are extraordinary. Obsessed with Robert Nava these days. Absolutely obsessed with the guy.
I mean, you know,
Everything.
do you know,
Everything about it.
you know Andy Fisher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I collect him. I think he's
Yes.
good. I also have work by Nicholas too.
Yes.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
This is a George Condo self-portrait I bought from Xavier Baba.
Oh, did you see that online show? The George Condo online show?
Yes, I did.
How is it?
It's great. It's absolutely great.
And do you see the? I read some. I haven't really looked yet, but did you read these reviews on social distancing that is related? Do you see this relation to these times?
No. I did not. No. Claire Tabaret.
Great. Oh,
Emily May Smith.
love her. Great.
She again another extraordinary artist that we're gonna have. We're gonna see amazing things from her for many years to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Louise Bonnet. You have a Louise Bonnet as well?
You know, I don't have Louise Bonnet, and I'm very bummed about it. I should have, and I didn't. And I love her, and I love the practice, and yeah. Unfortunately,
Okay, Nino, if you see this, then gib dir einen Ruck, Nino.
Yes, he needs to
It means
hook
like
me up
push
for
yourself,
sure.
you know, in German.
These Calvin Marcus lamps are extraordinary. Love him also.
Oh, I didn't know them. And are they like treated as serious artworks, or is it like a limited edition?
You know, Alejandro Cardenas, who I'm absolutely obsessed with him.
I don't know him. Can you tell us a bit more about him?
Alejandro is a LA-based artist. He's in his 40s. He came out of Cooper Union, and I just love the work. I absolutely love the work. Everything he's been doing. There's some incredible paintings in the studio now.
So it's also kind of neo-surrealistic, figurative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, post-apocalyptic. You know, really in tune with what's happening now. Yeah, yeah, very excited about that. Little Marcus Am, I got from my good friend David Kordansky,
Yeah.
who I absolutely love and has been a very important presence in the LA art scene.
He kind of like bumped it up a lot, huh? Like made it to a. I was in LA first time 20 years ago. I mean, my own head switched on.
Mm-hmm.
And then LA really came out of a Schneewittchenschlaf, you know, it was like awakening with Blum and Poe, and later came David Kordansky. Oh, who's this? Who did we just pass there?
This is Jonathan Lyndon Chase.
Ah, okay, yes.
I bought this from my good friends at Galerie.
Yeah.
Also, he put the little
Beautiful
earring there.
Yeah, and tell me how do you so this means you kind of stopped sourcing the art fairs a while ago already. Like you did go there, but the priority was like Instagram and your not so much dialogues with dealers, also dialogues with clients, other collectors.
Oh yes. Talking with other collectors to me is absolutely vital. You know,
globally,
there's global talking to artists from all over the world and discussing ideas.
Oh, now I think you're covering the. Yeah.
We're discussing different ideas and trends and where do we feel that the market is going and what are the next tastes, and yes, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I've met in the last 8 years so many people that I love through Instagram that are art collectors, and we've grown together with many of them, and we travel together and we discuss things together, and you know, this whole thing about community is become so important to me in this.
Yes.
in this world.
You know,
and yes,
I'm very happy that we talk together, because also that you're talking openly about how you find things, and that it's about also hearing about it first and then looking, because I think a big problem with the art world is that it's not frank enough, and there's a lot of hypocrisy, and I think it's good to be open and transparent. I think a lot of people watch this because they learn from these open conversations about how, for a lot of not insiders, they don't understand how the art market works, and they think it's kind of opaque, but it's not so opaque if you know a little bit how processes are, how things are processed.
You know, the most important thing really, and it's always been the first trait of my. Have I made mistakes? Of course, but you know, I only buy what I like, and I am not, you know, when I'm buying Cause or Kondo or Jonas early on, I wasn't thinking that they were going to be worth millions. That is absolutely secondary. It does not matter. You know, collecting is about collecting. It's not about making money with it. That comes later, much later, if you do it really well. It has nothing to do with it. You know, and a lot of artists that have been manipulated
artificially doesn't work out.
Artificially are gonna be gone, and you see that. You know, if you look at some artists that were artificially manipulated for 10 or 15 years, they're flat right now. I don't see them coming back.
Let me tell you a funny story. I made a selfie in my kitchen with a crazy Christmas reindeer pullover, which a Swiss designer designed, you know. And I did this selfie. It's like super hilarious, weirdo selfie. And in the back of me, there's only I own a fruit still life by Nicolas Party, which I bought on a trip many years ago with my wife. And I haven't on it. I should have. I mean, it's kind of a bit embarrassing story, but I kind of did not follow his market. And I mean, I think there was this one charity auction result which was very high, but I did not really spend that much attention anymore. And then I got, I don't know, 50 PMs on Instagram, and only people understood like by this like tiny edge that it's a Nicolas Party. If I would be interested in selling my Nicolas Party, so. That's not, and no, this you can't, this type of demand you can't artificially
Oh no.
create.
Oh no. His demand is absolutely real, and the show at Hauser and Worth was absolutely extraordinary, and his capacity to paint in public spaces is extraordinary. We're going to hear a lot from Nicholas Party. It's really only the beginning. What do you have in the back? What do you have in the back?
This is Jorinde Voigt,
Uh-huh.
who has a show. She did a big piece right now. It's a bit. She did a big piece it's like a conceptual poetic. Well, let me flip it around. She has a project right now at the DeMille.
Wow.
Let me see how far I can go back.
It's a beautiful space you have there.
Yeah, it's a former church. This is only where the preacherman used to be.
Amazing.
But we have a lot of work coming up in an exhibition, group exhibition, co-created with Annika Meyer, also Luisa Gaiardi, who you might like.
Yes.
Shall we take some questions?
Of course. Sure.
So here's a small icon with a Nicholas Party. It's actually a fun guy I met when I was in Qatar, and he was one of the people reaching out about my party, and he's asking is a Qatari sheikh who's new artist to watch top 5. I think that Alberto is not telling us.
I listen. I like Izzy Wood.
I love Izzy Wood.
I like Alejandro Cárdenas. I like Genesis Tremaine. I like an artist that I've loved for many years and that a lot of people should know. His name is Craig Kusha, a beautiful figurative painter. So many. So many. So many.
Do you think this coronavirus crisis will affect the art prices, especially artists? I can't read the full question, unfortunately.
Listen, I already think it did. I think that the market has contracted completely, and I think it's a good thing. When you're buying a work of art for $7,000 and a year and a half later you see it at auction at $800,000, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good thing. And yes, it has contracted. I am seeing deals already. I am personally not buying right now myself. I'm actually on the sidelines. And I will get back in, but right at this moment, I'm not in. So yes, I think there's definitely going to be deals to be made, and things are changing, and tastes are changing really fast, very, very fast.
Yep. Then, I thought that the auctions, I bought some work at the Sotheby's online auction, and I was surprised how expensive things went, given the fact that the Dow and the DAX were like, on the way down. Something in Spanish. Magnífica colección Alberto, un abrazo desde Málaga.
Cheers to all my beautiful Spanish friends and beautiful artists that are there. I love Madrid. I love Málaga. I was there recently visiting Javier Calleja and Alicia, whom I absolutely love. Anyway.
What is your advice for young artists?
Well, I think that, I think that social media presence and having your own voice in platforms is super important. Don't be afraid to go out there and show your work, on these platforms. 2 months ago, it was very, very important to have a space in a gallery, but today relevance is on social media, and I think it's that and to really never give up the dream. I talk to a lot of artists that get frustrated because things are not happening to them. It happens. It comes at the right time for each artist, and it really happens. So just keep going. Absolutely.
Very good.
Keep going.
How is the eventual thinning of mid-tier galleries by COVID affecting the whole market, I guess? I can't unfortunately see the whole question. Do you see it?
How is the eventual thinning of mid-tier galleries by COVID affect collecting and the representation? Jason, I don't know exactly what you're telling me. I do think that some mid-tier artists that were quite expensive are the ones that are going to suffer the most. I still think that emerging is safe. That's what I'm interested in. I still want to buy the young ones, and I'm 51. I'm not so interested in going out there and buying David Sally's right now. It's just not what interests me. But I don't really understand the question more than that. I can't see it.
But what I find interesting, looking at the art market report, I don't know the new one. I haven't had the time because of Corona, but the last one showed that mid-tier galleries or mid-sized galleries were mainly living off two artists or one artist only, which of course puts them in a giant risk because they're depending like on one or two artists. And if a bigger player comes along, it's dramatic. Huh?
Definitely a problem. There's two things, galleries that have huge overheads are going to be very much affected by this, and galleries that are very leveraged are going to be very affected by it. Small galleries, it's actually a nice time to be a small gallery right now. There's not too much overhead. They deal with a lot of artists and they push a lot of young artists, so they can actually move different types of inventory. They can hunker down and they will survive. I think we're going to see some small galleries coming out very, very strong out of this whole Corona thing.
When I opened my gallery, it was just after the .com crisis or in 2002. And I got a phone call from the City magazine here in Berlin, and they said, like, how do you deal with a crisis? And it was the first time I made the cover of a magazine. I said, crisis? What crisis? Because when you start, you don't sell anything anyway. Like Correct. You're hustling and hustling, so you don't really affect it. You have no. I'm so happy that we own the space we are in, and that usually most of the business I'm doing is not leveraged. Everything is like. Because then it could become problematic. So let me find this is a good final question. Looking back the year, let's not talk about 2020. What was the best favorite exhibition in 2019, Alberto?
Oof.
From the top of your head.
In 2019.
Last year.
Wow. I mean, I really loved Basquiat at the Brand Foundation last year. It really knocked me off my head. It really caused a very big thing. Just the space, the Walter de Maria space, and the Basquiat was just extraordinary, amongst many other things. I mean,
and on the young side?
On the young side, God, I don't know. I don't know, Johan. I'm sorry.
No problem. Great. So, Alberto, thank you so much. That was amazing. And stay healthy and make sure to go through this, okay? And say hi to your lovely wife, who we only got to see for a second.
Absolutely.
I have something to say.
Oh, please. Yes, please. Really absolutely.
Hi.
Hey.
You can afford young artists that are not too expensive at this point. Do it, because this is your chance, and this is the best way to support artists to stay in their jobs.
That's very true what you say. Yes, that's very Absolutely. Good. Very good because buying young contemporary artists' work is supporting artists directly. It's like the best philanthropic practice somehow you can do.
Absolutely.
And buy through dealers so that they can give them a space to show.
Thank you. Thank you for reaching out, Johan. Stay
Ciao.
safe over
Stay
there,
safe.
and hopefully we'll see each other soon.
Absolutely. Salud.
Be well. Salud. Ciao. Thank you.
Ciao.